It's the JT Cho Show!
You got bamboozled.
Welcome back to another... Oh, wow, we didn't do the thing. We didn't do the thing. The thing. I'm just going to leave it in there. Welcome back to the JT Show. I'm your host, JT. This is episode number 80 of the JT Show. Now, I know sometimes you guys are like, wow, what's really lacking? Where's this week's episode? Part of my plan in the future is to, as you would say, part of the plan is to make this come out maybe a set day of the week. Now, with my rotating schedule and the way I live my current lifestyle, it comes out whenever, which, I mean, I personally think that kind of hurts views, but I do them when I can, and then I upload them when I can. So maybe, like I said, when I reevaluate my whole entire platform and see that, how many views that I have and stuff before then eventually I will, probably make this a set day of the week, like JT Tuesdays. I kind of like the sound of that. If you guys like the sound of that, comment in the bottom JT Tuesdays. And what I'll do is from here on out, when I record my podcast, I'll drop them on Tuesdays. Now, I also wanted to always have, I think, a pen, paper, so I can write down ideas that I have during my podcast that I never seem to revisit. So that's going to be something that's like new too. I like pencils. I like the feeling over a pencil over a pen. But back to our intro. Today's the 24th of June. We got a lot to talk about today. You see that we have no guest, so basically that it's gonna be the half an hour format ish. Things that happened before last time. I turned 31. Had a great birthday party. Friends came over. Had some shish kebabs. Threw some kebabs on the grill. And now, one thing that I appreciate about my friends is that they just let me cook. They're just like, look at JT cook. Look at this guy go. And, they showed up. We got the cornhole set up. We're playing some bags. Sitting out, beautiful day, nice overcast, having a great time. Then it came time, hey, everyone's coming here at blank time, dinner. So right before we set up bags, right before we set up cornhole, whatever you want to call it, had my meat marinating. Chicken and steak take longer to marinate than the shrimp did, so the shrimp only marinated for about 45 minutes. But if you marinate it for more than, I think, 2 hours, the acidicness of the marinade can cook the shrimp, and that's not very good. Marinating my food. Big shout out to Lauren. She came over to help me, my buddy's wife. And, when it comes down to cooking, it's like, she's like, how can I help? And I was like, bam, dude, like, more hands make less work. That's a Leonard Kenny reference, but big shout out. We both kebabbed. And then, like, on the back end, dude, she was like a little dishes ninja because she was just, like, putting those motherfuckers away. I didn't even see her do it. So big shout out. Held my birthday. The grilling went great. Threw him on the grill. Earl helped me out. He was, giving me more hands because, I had 3 trays. But overall, just a great birthday weekend. Had a fun time. Played some pool at the end of the night. Cracked a couple cold ones open with the boys. But we suck at pool, but we still had a great time. Great birthday. But let's get into what this podcast was originally about, stand-up comedy. Now, I recently went back to my website. I re-uploaded pictures. I revamped it. Added like upcoming shows because hopefully I can start doing more shows in the near future. But what happened was I had this whole thing set up for Monday where I was supposed to perform comedy through this company who books like the talent. They do everything like that. And we were supposed to perform. I'm just gonna lay it. I was supposed to perform at Easttown Sports Bar in Grand Rapids. Oh no, he's fucking. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying that's where I was supposed to perform. Okay, this isn't a super popular podcast where, oh my god, he fucking slandered Easttown Sports Bar in Grand Rapids. Their business is gonna drive right into the ground. Like I'm sorry, the opportunity didn't happen. I don't know what happened, but basically, I went to GR in Michigan, met up with one of my buddies, Red. We kicked it. We had dinner with each other. Kind of saw like my pre-process of comedy. I'm a little uptight, a little nervous. Here was my day on Monday. I woke up, laid in bed because I said, "Oh God, I got to do my set list today," and not that I wasn't excited to do stand up. I just started getting that self doubt, and then I take about an hour and a half to really craft that 5 minutes in. Because, I mean, some comedians, they just go up there with topics and, crowd banter, or they just know how to say and make it conversational. I like to have a general idea of where it's going to go and how to time it out because I really want to maximize that 7 minutes. So, after that, take my shower, fill up my gas out of my own personal money, and drive all the way to Grand Rapids, see my buddy, have a good time. He's like, "Oh, you didn't eat very much." Well, that's just in case of a bomb, okay? Like I said, I'm due for a bomb. I am. I'm very due for a bomb. But, so when you bomb, like you get the meat sweats, but all over your whole body, and sometimes that can hurt your stomach, and I never want to puke on stage. So sometimes I go on stage a little bit hungry, but that's just how I really deal with it. That's 100%. Like right now, I'm going up on that stage, and I'm just like, you just deliver your jokes. I'm super confident, but I got to get up there. Like all the time before, I work it up in my head. Okay, that's just my process. Okay, so drive up there literally 15 minutes before check-in. So it's like 7:52. Check-in's at 8:15. Okay, not 15 minutes, but close to it. I get this text like, "Hey, sorry guys, last minute's canceled." And I was like, "Oh," and I was like, it's one of those. I'm not a liar, okay? You a liar. I'm not a liar. But I invited my brother's friends, I invited the most people I've ever invited to a comedy event, and then it got canceled. So now I'm, some people got a babysitter, and others, took off work. Not took off work, but they had to work the next day, so they came out still, and so I bought them a couple beers. For coming out the bar next door. So we're at this bar next door, and I believe it's called Mulligan's, and they're having trivia night at Mulligan's, and I start talking because I bought him some beers, and I was like, I'll get out after these, and he comes over and he's like, "Hey, would you guys like to do trivia night?" We're like, "Nah." We just came out tonight to watch him do comedy, but it got canceled. So we're just bullshitting with the guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, having a pretty decent conversation." It's like, "Oh, you're pretty funny. You just want to do your, whatever, 5 minutes up here." I was like, "Yeah, sure." So, sorry, very thirsty. In front of, I'd say the 20 people, maybe 25 tops that were there playing the trivia night, I did my little set, and I really don't know how to take random. I'm not humble, but I'm always in my head self-evaluating myself right after I'm done. But some guy's like, "Yeah, you did really good, man. That was funny." And I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And I wish I could be like, "Oh, dude, seriously?" I really appreciate the thanks and the constructive criticisms and stuff. But it's hard to take any criticism, whether it be positive, not criticism, but it's hard for me to take a compliment from random strangers. But thanks to the guy that said I was pretty good, and I almost forgot to say because I was so bummed that I kind of was timed up in my head and I wasn't going over it. Because usually once I am waiting to go, once every comedian's done, I'll just look at my little note card titles and I'll be like, topic. And that's what I go up on stage with. I don't go up on stage with notes. I usually just go up on stage with bullets, mostly headers. When I, once you do the big shows where they're half an hours and stuff, and if you ever get famous to that point, not famous. Fame's the wrong word. If you ever get funny enough to draw crowds into you and like you can really sell that half hour, you're opening with 15 minutes, and when stand-up comedy is my primary source of income, that's when you're going to start seeing me pour so much work into it, but right now, I'm still exercising down to 214 pounds, which is fantastic. That's a JT weight update. I'm going to write that down. JT weight update. We're not really going to do those in the future, LOL, but if I ever tell you how much I weigh, but that's how much I weighed today. I'm trying to lose just a few more pounds, get under 210, and then really go through I'm not eating terribly. I have had some cheat days, but mostly I watch what I eat, but really go on maybe a stricter plan when I start lifting again. I'm not trying to get like swole and huge. I'm just trying to get lean, So we'll see if that happens in the future for sure. But I was super bummed that I didn't get to do comedy for my friends though. But I hopefully you guys like that little, how I do it insider and stuff like that. I hope you guys appreciate that. But that's my comedy update. I emailed 20 clubs, didn't hear back from hardly any. So I got to keep grinding the clubs I can grind. And it's tough. It's tough right now for me. So hopefully I get more dates and more shows so I can evaluate. And once I have like a solid 5 minutes to where I'm like, all these jokes are solid and my pacing is solid and you can hear the crowd laughter, then I'm gonna throw it up on YouTube. But until then, we'll see what happens. I want to talk today a little bit about. Here's some topics we're gonna be coming up. I'm gonna talk about golf, my running, upcoming vacation, Sea of Thieves, and NBA basketball. We're gonna start off with NBA basketball. The Suns versus Clippers, game 2. All right. Wild finish. If you like basketball, you love the finish. But you didn't like how much time the finish was. Now, let me tell you. It took 33. Okay, I read this online. It took 33 minutes. 33 minutes to play 90 seconds of basketball. That to me is unacceptable. And now the last 5 minutes of the game slowing down to 20, it happens, okay? NFL using all their timeouts and each team's got 3, I understand. But we're talking about 90 seconds. We're talking about a minute and a half. That's how much time on the clock. That's how much time on the clock. That's a minute 30. That's crazy. Sorry, I was thinking about another topic, so I was like, why did I just repeat myself and not, trying to multitask up here? That's why I got this pencil. That's too slow. That's baseball. That's like baseball speed, to be honest. Sorry. It's a one-man show. But yeah, it just like, I don't got time for that shit, man. Like, they need to, I know everything's reviewable for the last 2 minutes, I believe. But it was just, everything was being stopped and looked at, and Paul George missed 2 free throws. That's the craziest part. Like, I think that's the craziest part of the overtime, like the whole overtime. I did learn a new rule in basketball. There is no goaltending on an inbound pass. I'm assuming that's because a pass from out of bounds to inbounds can't be a shot. So even if it goes in the basket, it doesn't count. So therefore, there's no goaltending on it because theoretically you can't shoot it. So we're gonna see if that rule changes potentially for next year. But shout out to the Suns for getting it done with 2 games in a row. 2 hard road games in LA against the Clippers. On the other side of the Eastern Conference, well, not the other side of the Eastern Conference, the other side, the Eastern Conference. So the other side called the Eastern Conference. You've got the Bucks versus Hawks. Big shocker. Ice Trae getting it done. Scoring 48 points, 11 rebounds. That's a ludicrous numbers. Everyone's riding Giannis right now for, the Kevin Durant miss and how hard he played. But the Bucks went down in game 1, and I did not see that coming, personally. Did not. So that should be an exciting series. The Bucks pulled it out against the team I thought nobody could beat in the Eastern Conference. But here they are versus the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think the Suns get it done. I don't think they get it done in 4. Unless Chris Paul is back for Game 3. If Chris Paul is back for Game 3, you might see a new NBA record for most. You might see a big one because, if they sweep the Clippers, then, that's so many games in a row that they've won, which I think now is 10. It might be 9. I don't know. Anyways, speaking of basketball, the NBA lottery was the other day, and the Detroit Pistons got the number 1 pick. Super excited for that. We don't need to go over it. We all know what's happening. We all know who the number 1 pick's going to be from Oklahoma State. Cade Cunningham, I believe, is his name. I don't want to get that wrong. Sometimes in my head, I'm like, no, that's right. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, no, dude, you got it wrong. And yeah, so most likely he's going to go to the Pistons. We've got a nice young squad. We're going to get the number 1 draft pick. Now, last time we were picking that high, I know, goofy faces. LeBron James went to Cleveland at number 1, and then the Pistons took Milic at number 2. Carmelo Anthony went number 3. And then I believe it went Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. So we have fucked it's so hard. We've just fucked it so hard in the past that Cunningham, is he the answer? I believe so. But the Pistons are still a Detroit team. But it was crazy. It was super hyped to watch that. I like watching the NBA lottery and not watching the Red Wings get typically 6th or 4th, getting fucked. The Pistons got that. Okay, so hopefully the Pistons don't blow it. Cade, more power to you. Welcome to Detroit, baby. Only going to work out with the Pistons. I'm going to buy your jersey for sure. Going to be rocking a Cunningham jersey this year, 100. So you're going to see me at some more Pistons games than I have been in the past, which is only 1, and it wasn't even a win on the road. San Antonio. It was a bad Pistons game to go to. That's the most recent game I've gone to for the Pistons, and it wasn't even at the Palace or Little Caesars Pizza Arena. It was in San Antonio. So, that's how bad the Pistons have been, and that was a Van Gundy team. Now, moving on to baseball real quick. There's that new thing where managers are now randomly having the umpires check pitchers for foreign substances, more occurring in games. Max Scherzer got 3 times checked in 4.5 innings, and he got pissed. They're ripping off their hats, taking off their pants. Yeah, they're taking off their fucking pants. They're taking off their belts, their gloves. They're getting pissed, man. Max Scherzer, I didn't know his hair was worse than mine, man. Like Max Scherzer's got a lot of money, but he doesn't got a lot of hair. But he's getting pissed probably because the whole hair thing. But I feel for the guy. Sorry, a lot of that was really bothering me. Anyways, and then they were spitting back and forth, some stare downs, some ejections. Baseball happened to the A's player as well. His name escapes my mind, but here I'm not watching every A's game, but I know who Scherzer is because he left and then he won a World Series without the Tigers. Anyways, yeah, we couldn't afford him or Price or Porcello, so anywho, that's slowing down the game. I don't like it. I know the pitchers are complaining that they can't grip the ball, this and that. But there's a lot of whispers of please let us use foreign substances again. We want to be able to grip and rip and throw that ball and all that jazz. So baseball's got a lot on their hands, man. So that's the best baseball update that you're gonna get from me. Anyways, golf today. We went over to Concord, hit 9 holes walking. I love walking 9 holes. I just like how relaxing it is. Didn't shoot the greatest, but first time shooting this course. I know I've shot 9 holes on Concord before. I don't know if I've shot the front or the back. Can't remember. What a blur. I know I've been there in person at least one time. So we went out to this course, very narrow fairways for the most part with a lot of trees. So if you're hitting bombs and they're not in the fairway, you're hitting behind trees. My greatest part of my game today, holy smokes, folks, it was the par threes. It's the first time in my entire life where both par threes, I hit it on the green in one fucking shot. The one that was about 124 yards-ish out, I used my gap wedge, really skied it up in the air and landed it on the green. Did a great job. The 164 I hit with an 8-iron, used a barely teed up and just, I think that was 177. But yeah, and then I hit that right onto the green, and I was like, wow, I'm impressed. Worst part of my game today was probably the drive, but not because I was driving terribly, but the next shot after the drive was like behind a tree, so it was just like my drive was kind of not helping me today, even though the distance sometimes was helping me. I would have an inconsistent shot here and there, but slowly learning my clubs, and I'm getting better every day, so I'm super duper excited for that. Running, woke up on my 31st birthday with a 6-miler, sweating. I had a great run though. Ran a nice course, got a nice sweat on. I had like a weird little birthday morning, really upset stomach, had the vomit, but recovered. It was just, I think it was greasy food. Not that my diet's changed so much, but I don't know if it was the chicken that I ate was greasy from Panda. I love Panda, but I was burping it the next morning, so I was like, bah. But I felt fine after that. Took a Tums and, brushed the old teeth, and I was like, hey, man, I'm good to fucking go, man. Let's fucking cruise, man. But today and yesterday, I both did little 4-milers. My goal right now is I'm trying to train my body to keep an under 8-minute pace. So realistically, if I ever run a marathon this year, I really want to run a 7:45 pace. Today for 4 miles, again, finished just under 32 minutes. It was like 30, I think it was like 31:12 or something like that. My goal is to push 4 miles at 7:30, because if I can do that, then I can push 6 miles easier at that 7:45 pace, and push 8 miles at the 7:45 pace, and the push 10 miles at the 7:45 pace. I have a couple big runs coming up, so I really need to start getting my timings down and all that jazz. So hopefully I'll be able to just really dial it in and get where I really want to start going with running. But, sweating out there, having a good time. The weather hasn't been terrible. It's supposed to be raining a lot, so I don't run in the rain. I'm too pretty for that. I'm just joking. We all know what I look like. But, that's how I look. That's how you're getting this right here. Oh, how'd you lose weight? I just watch what I eat and I run. Okay, I exercise and I watch what I eat. Okay, sometimes I plow 12 Reese's, okay? I mean, like, not like Reese cups, like the mini Reese's, but I'm hungry, okay? But for the most part, tonight for dinner, 3 eggs, carb-friendly tortillas, 2 of them, and then a little bit of cheese. Cooked the eggs slowly. It was very, very good. And then that allows me to have more calories tonight for a snack when I get it. Got to get back to eating healthy. I realistically only have to eat healthy for another week, and then it's vacation. Super excited for a vacation. My vacation starts the 3rd of July, and it goes until like middle of the month, hanging out with all my friends, having Big Cut flying in, having Gary fly in. Gary's definitely going to do a podcast this time. Maybe we'll even get Daddy Jesus on this podcast. We don't even know. Lots going on, though. Lots of fun, lots of golf, lots of shenanigans, lots of staying up, kicking back cold ones. Super excited for my vacation. The last topic that we're going to talk about is Sea of Thieves, video games. E3 just came on. I know we've been talking about that a little bit here and there. Sea of Thieves had a really big announcement where they said, "Hey, look, we partnered with Disney." Or I don't know. I don't know if is it. Hold on. I think I might sneeze. Just kidding. It's yawn. Anyways, they teamed up with Disney and had Jack Sparrow in Sea of Thieves, and they have like, I think it's five little missions to do. Tails, I think they call them. I'm not the greatest at Sea of Thieves, but I had fun playing it. So last night we're playing Sea of Thieves, and it's taking about an hour and a half to get through stuff, but we're taking it really slow, and then we're figuring out puzzles we didn't figure out, like, because we had one person who's already played it, but he's like, I never did any of this part, so we're figuring out this puzzle and what to do and where to go. Kind of got lost a little bit. Not very good for content, but, no one's ever seen it, and we've solved all the puzzles. But by the time we got to the end of the game, somehow the cutscene was corrupted and we didn't get to see the finish, and that was like so climactic. It was like the build up. We were gonna see Jack. It was just super sad, like you did all that work and you don't even get to see the final cutscene, and now I think we're on the second tail. It's just heartbreaking. Kind of like this yawn right now because I've already had my nap today, okay? I took a nap today. But, Cut said it. He said, this is the second time that games really frustrated me. I had a fun enough time on it where, this crash really, sucked. But I still had fun playing it. There were parts where before... here's why I had fun. So before Cut got online, we were hanging out with his homie, Daddy Jesus, Jungle Jesus, Jesus, whatever Jesus you want to call him, and Jeff. And Jesus and Jeff, that's my new sitcom I'm working on. It's called Jesus and Jeff. Anyways, we're on this island. We do some new content. We take down this fire tornado guy. And I look up over the hill and I'm like, holy shit, boys, a galleon. We're in the 3-man ship. I was like, holy shit, boys, a galleon. It's headed our way. And they're like, whoa. The motherfuckers rammed us. I think it might have been like a random crew because they were like typing instead of like talking to each other. So, they rammed us. They just rammed right into us. And I was like, holy shit, So we got back on boat. Travi got on their boat. We sunk their boat. We destroyed them. We repaired our boat. And then we got all the treasures sold and made lots of money. We took on a team that we had no business beating because, they snuck up on us. They snuck up on us with our pants down. Kind of like those MLB pitchers. That's what I call a callback, baby. But I had fun battling, the monsters and the PvP. Had a great time with all of that. Solving all the puzzles, taking down the skeletons. It's a fun game, but when things like that happen, it kind of just ruined the whole night of gaming for that. We moved it over to Apex afterwards, and didn't do bad, but we didn't secure the win. So hopefully tonight we can secure the win. If we don't, then we give it our all. But Sea of Thieves crashing like that really, really put some heavy down feelings on Sea of Thieves for sure. Other than that, though, I've gotten through my entire list today. It's right around the half an hour point. If you like these half hours JT shows, leave some comments, leave some constructive criticism, tag your friends, show your mom, dad. Don't show my mom or dad. They're just going to be more disappointed than they have been. But, let me know. I want to get better. I want more views. I want to earn, I need to make this something special, All I'm doing right now is talking to a microphone by myself about running and golf and Sea of Thieves and blah, blah, blah. It's basically like, oh, this is his journal and I'm his friend and we're waiting till he gets really depressed one night and then we can put it together as a montage and be like, this is the episode where he fell off. Anyways, no, I'm still trying to become a comedian. And that's what it comes down to. And this is just the online journal of somebody who hasn't made it in comedy and has a long way to go because he's not that funny yet. But I want to thank you guys again. I thank you guys every episode for tuning in, listening. Drop some comments on things you want to hear about or topics or formats or anything that you think that might improve the show or anything that you think that sucks. But thanks for tuning in, guys. This was the 80th episode of the JT Show. I'm your host, JT, signing out. Captain's Log.